pretty crazy out there. You know, you're one of the. I'll give you a quick glaze. Brad is one of the ones who I think is on the right side of history on this. And last time we spoke, I think we found common ground in the fact that the right and the left distraction is all just meant to keep us divided when we should be focused on. There's major issues and there's real problems to focus on. And I think Brad is one of the few that realizes that this is all just goy slop to keep us fighting, right?
Yeah, it's actually really frustrating because the real question I have is like, how do you actually change it when it's so deeply entrenched in everything? Like our whole structure here is based on money and the people who just control the world. It's just like we're just this endless cycle of hating left and right or religion or someone else's like, sexual identity, whatever it is like all stuff for us to argue about. And we never actually change anything, which is like from the top down, you know?
Yeah, Chad, we shouldn't argue about Brad's sexual identity. We should just let people love is love,
Mm,
and we shouldn't. I agree.
I don't give a fuck about. I'm just saying I don't care. It's just like those things are. They're not important, but they're just things that people are riled up against or about, and it's like, well, the real problem is way, way higher than that and a lot deeper than that, I feel.
So, have you read the Epstein files? What do you think?
I haven't read them. I watched probably like 40 minutes of that interview, and everyone's like, it's AI, this is fake, and
I don't think it was
um,
AI.
yeah, I think it was real, the Bannon one, right?
Yeah.
Um, I watched a lot of that, and it was interesting. Like the questions were interesting. That guy's mind is obviously he's a fucking terrible human, but it's pretty interesting to hear him speak about like just life and perception of what's real and fake and all this shit. But yeah, I just think I don't know. I don't even know how to like start on this conversation other than the sad thing is it seems like we're fucking doomed. It's like just a matter of time before the AI just controls everyone's output. You can't say certain things or it's just weird, man. I feel like that's what's coming. That's our future is the AI advancement is going to get to the point where you can't even say otherwise. You can't even speak in any direction other than the direction that they want you to be able to speak in. So,
Yeah, but you're not hopeless, right? Because it does seem like we're close to things are getting, things are getting crazier. But I don't, I don't really hold
I'm
any.
not hopeless. I'm not hopeless, but I'm just like I think the human greed thing, whether we're talking about, this Jewish thing or not, is like it's not as if Jewish people acted alone in all these ways or like were able to get to certain positions of powers completely alone. So it's just like there's other people who are complicit in all this shit as well, where it's just like, let's say you removed all the people who are in power now, you put a whole nother group of people who are in power. Does the same thing not just happen like in a different angle?
Well, again, it depends on what you believe
That's where
in.
I feel hopeless.
It depends on what you believe in, right? And so we could see from the Epstein files that Jeffrey Epstein was clearly a Jewish supremacist. It's okay. I think that's not anti-Semitic to say. He was saying, I just read the Epstein files, writing about how he's 98% Jew and that makes him smarter than the rest. He's talking with other billionaires about how the Goyim are stupid and using Goy as an insult constantly. Goy means non-Jew. He clearly held Jewish supremacist ideology, and he's photoed next to the Talmud where, it says things about Jesus, and don't need to get into that. But he definitely believed that he was better than others because of his race. And if he believes in that, and if someone like that is blackmailing and controlling the world and working right next to Netanyahu, then obviously that's somebody that should not be in charge of the world with a racial superiority complex where they feel entitled to things and entitled to women, and they are allowed to lie and steal and cheat. And he could do this torture island and blackmail island because it's all for the benefit of Israel. It's almost word for word what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even here to argue against any of that. I'm just saying, like, does it ever actually change? So, say you removed every single person who was in power, and you install a whole new group of people. Do people still not find levels of greed that are just insane? I mean, the crazy thing is like it's not even money at that point. It's just like power and control and doing something that you feel like others can't because you're more important than them or
Better.
I guess in this better, right? So, but don't you feel like that happens no matter who it is?
Not necessarily, no. I think anybody is susceptible to be corrupted by greed. This is the number one test of being a human, is, are we going to do the right thing, or are we going to prioritize ourselves? Are we going to be selfish and screw over other people? And innately, everybody knows that when you do something wrong, like lie, cheat, steal, and all this, there's a feeling inside where you're doing something morally wrong. We call that fitra, right? But I think that if there was a group in charge, if there were people in charge that operated based off of morals that had nothing to do with superiority, then no racial superiority, that operated off the basis of peace and off the basis of some sort of homogenous culture, then things would be better. Obviously, greed does corrupt, but I think it's deeper than just greed with Epstein and with Israel. It's based off of Epstein's words. It comes from racial superiority. The justification is that Goyim are subhuman and that they're better, and that Jeffrey Epstein believed he was better. That's why he did it. So it's not, everybody's going to fuck up and sin. Everyone's going to, be greedy, lie. Everyone's going to steal. Everyone will sin. But the difference is not everybody's going to justify it based off of a belief system.
Yeah. Well, I see what you're saying, and I understand it. But what I'm saying is, like, I've experienced, I guess, enough to know that no matter who it is, they're not going to necessarily take it to this level of this Epstein shit, but the level of greed and like the power hungriness and getting to that point and then having it and feeling like you're entitled to things that other people are not entitled to. I think it happens no matter any religion, no matter any belief, no matter any moral compass. I think that just starts to happen to people.
Well, I mean,
because I know, like, for example, in the like, I don't know, it's Dubai, United Arab Emirates, like, I don't even, how do I say this without saying too much, but like, people
sell out
who are at a certain echelon, not even sell out, people who are at a certain echelon allow themselves to do or be more just above their own laws.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, it doesn't matter. It's, I'm not trying to make this like a Muslim thing. It's not about that at all. I'm just saying, like, even in the Catholicism, it's like the shit that happened in the Vatican, the way that they like pay all these fucking lawyers to deal with the rape cases. It's like, it's in every sort of religion. It's in every sort of thing, because it's a human thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to discredit or take away, anything in regards to like this conversation as far as Epstein and Israel and this shit goes. But my fear is that no matter who it is, we end up in some weird similar situation where it's just a power struggle.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right about all this. Like, you see in the Epstein files, they said that the Kaaba, a piece of the Kaaba, which is the holy site in Mecca, was sold to Epstein. And we saw as well, there's like popes, and the Pope has kissed the wall before, for a previous Pope. There's other people in Catholicism that have covered up and have taken deals with Israel. Everybody is susceptible to being compromised 100%. And we've seen it with all different religions and all different people, all different cultures. My point is, the separation is the belief system right now of Israel and of Epstein, Netanyahu, and Jeffrey Epstein, the people that support him. They're doing it based off of a religious superiority, off of a racial superiority complex, literally believing within faith that we're chosen and the rest are goy. The difference is in Christianity, Christianity doesn't have a racial superiority. A lot of people do you kind of see it mumbled around, right? When you see people celebrate what happened in Venezuela, they're like, okay, it's just a brown communist nation. Well, no, these are Catholics, right? But they consider them, they'll call them, many people like Matt Walsh will call Venezuelans third world communists before they say Catholic brothers, even though they are more Catholic and far more Catholic than America is. But there is no actual text that shows that Christianity has racial superiority. Even though I see a lot of Christians say that, okay, you follow a desert religion of Islam, Christianity did originate from the same region. Jesus spoke Aramaic. Jesus was not from Ohio. He was born in Bethlehem and grew up in Nazareth, which is modern day Palestine. And I'll just finish my point and say it's the same thing in Islam. Islam does not have any of that racial superiority either. That's one thing that Malcolm X, why I resonated with Islam growing up. I read his book when I was 12, and he grew up as a, kind of like a modern day, how the Black Panthers are today, with racial superiority. He believed that black people should return to Africa. He believed in segregation. He thought white people were the devil. He criticized Israel quite a bit. And then he went to Mecca and he became a real Muslim after leaving the Nation of Islam, which is, some people call it a cult, and some people say they were worshiping Elijah Muhammad. It got complicated. It was like a sect. Then he found real Islam, and he left all that behind. And one of his last letters, he wrote to the Nation of Islam and said, in Mecca, I was praying side by side with white people. I was sharing a meal with people from all over the world. I stood shoulder to shoulder with different races, and I realized that we don't need to be separated off of color. It's all based off of acts and what we do. God doesn't judge us for what we look like. He judges off of our hearts and what we do and our actions. We're not defined by what we look like, but what we believe in and how we change the world and how we impact the world. And that's why I really resonated with what he did, seeing that his transformation, because I think everybody's susceptible to believe in some sort of ego superiority complex, and everybody can believe that, that they should put themselves first above others and in spite of others. So that's why I liked Malcolm X, and I think he really did find the truth in the end of his life, and he did renounce the Nation of Islam, and then he was assassinated. So I would say that if that belief system was in charge, that mindset that I saw in his letter from Mecca, where he could stand side by side and pray with people and realize that he could share food and he wasn't different if we operated based off those morals, I think we could find world peace.